Hi everyone. Um, Today I'm going to show you three casts that are pretty important to do. They're three, I call them trick casts, but they're sort of specialty casts that become important. Um, Remember to please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I need about 100 more subscribers. So the three casts that are important, that are sort of advanced in their, I call them trick casts, but they're one called the positive curve cast. And what the positive curve cast is you cast out, and then what it does is it puts a curve at the end of your line. This is great for getting around a rock. If you know there's a fish behind the rock, if you know it's good as kind of almost like a reach cast for if the current is running a particular way. There's all kinds of uses for it, and I find that I almost use this maybe 20% of the time I'm doing some kind of curve cast of some sort. And let me explain what it is. So you're going to be casting out, and at the end, you want your basically a couple feet of your line and your leader to go downstream. So how it works is that if you were to cast straight up and down, and if there were not ground right there, your cast would eventually curve and go completely underwater, underwatering, come back and hit you in the back of the head. So what we're going to do is take advantage of that and do a little bit of quick stopping too. So the basic curve cast is kind of a cast off to the side, and right at the end, you kind of just give it a quick stop and maybe even a pullback. And what it'll do is it'll cause the tip of your rod, if you overpower it, it'll cause the tip of your line to go all the way around. So it's a hard cast, and then almost more than a quick stop. It's almost like a pulling back, in fact, a bit. And that will give you that cast that way. That's called a positive curve cast. This is something really good to practice. It does take time to get the timing right and the right sort of jarring stop that you need. On the other side, this is called a negative curve cast, which is, and you can do it a number of ways. You can cast it over your head and do it that way, or you can do it over the shoulder and do it that way. And you notice as I cast, I'm pulling back just a hair because I want that stop at the end to be almost more than the regular cast. So I'm kind of pushing it beyond its means. So that's the negative curve cast, and that's the positive curve cast. And it's great for getting around rocks or trees or clumps of wood or a stump or something like that. So that's the first important cast. The second important cast is something, there's lots of names for it. It's a steeple cast. There's a whole bunch of names. But basically you're facing downstream. You're dry fly fishing, and you want to have plenty of line. It's another way of doing a reach cast, but you're doing a reach cast up in the air. So you would cast, stop it up here, and drop your line. What that will do is that will create a whole bunch of loose line right here, and your fly will just float down the stream in a nice dead drift, and you have all this extra line right here. Once you retrieve it, so let's say it gets all the way to the end, sometimes all you have to do is just lift it and then drop your line, and that'll give you another cast going all the way down. So you can get a nice dry fly cast that way. So it's basically casting and then lifting your rod before the fly hits the water. Okay, so it's a cast and then a flip up. Okay, sometimes people call that the steeple cast. So I'll do it. Sometimes they call it a steeple cast. There's lots of different names for it, but a very good technique, something that you should have in your quiver, and it makes those dry fly floats just absolutely perfect. Okay, my third cast has absolutely no use at all. This is a fun one. This one was taught to me by an instructor, Dave Leonard. He is, I think, one of the best casters ever. And It's basically, so you're hanging out with your friends, you're practicing casting, and then you go, oh, I need to look at my line, and you just go like this, and then you can catch your line. Whoop, I missed it. There you go, and then you can catch your line like that. Now, how does that work? Okay, how does that work? Basically, you're going to bring your rod up and then down really fast. And what that'll do is, remember, your line follows the tip of your rod. So if you bring it up and then you're going to bring it down, the line will start to go up and then it'll come down and then it doesn't know where to go. So it comes right to you. So you can just click it and grab it. You have to be good at grabbing though. There we go. Okay, and I got it. See? So you gotta, and I don't know what it is about, whenever I come to this park, it's absolutely quiet until I get here, and then it's like every construction piece of equipment comes by. So there's your trick, your final trick cast. So that's 3 casts, 3, maybe 4 casts that you can try and use. We'll see you. Please subscribe.